Hi, it's Mrs. B. This is day 83 of my new carnivore lifestyle. I had ribeye steak for supper last night, and I used a lot of butter on my steak. I used it to cook it with, and I used it to eat, and it was very good. Now, I don't eat all the fat on a ribeye, and I don't eat the gristle. I eat as much of the fat as I can, but I just don't have a stomach for that yet. Or even the texture of it is just hard for me to take. So I am supplementing that with the butter. Therefore, the cost of ribeyes isn't it's not cost effective for me to have ribeyes. But I still bought some on sale and I ate that for supper last night. And I bought some thin ones, so I may have that for supper tonight. Well, today I'm going to talk about another video, two videos that I watched. And one is Bella, the steak and butter gal, and she was having an interview with Coach Stephen Thomas. And what I'm going to go over about that video is um, some, they called them hacks. I don't know if that'd be the right word, but they call them hacks for your health. And I think they're very good. I need to work on them myself. One, the number one of those, I think there's five things. The first one they mentioned was to get 30 minutes of sunlight a day. I do not, and I need to. I actually left my house this morning, had to take my granddaughter's dog to the groomer, had to go out and get some blood work done for my surgery tomorrow. And when I walked outside, it just felt so wonderful. I was not out there 30 minutes though. I only walked to the car and only the brief moments that I walked from the car to wherever I was going to the groomer and then back to the car and then drove out to the hospital and had the blood work done and then back in the house. I mean, that doesn't count. I need to go outside and get 30 minutes of sunlight. Now, does it count when the sun's not shining? Because we have an overcast day with a little bit of rain. It's more mist than it is rain. So I don't know if that counts or not, but I'm gonna do it just because it feels so good out there. I love the feeling of spring, and that's the spring is in the air, right? Um, so that's a very important thing. So with the sun not shining, I'm not sure I get vitamin D from it. And I had heard that our bodies do not absorb vitamin D like they should. And I don't know if it does or not. I guess we'll find out. The number two thing was to get plenty of sleep and get good sleep and to turn any electronic device off for an hour before you go to bed. Do not watch the news. Do not watch things that stir you up at all, like a scary movie, the news, scary news. um, don't watch the screens on your phone. That is bad for you. You see that 11:49. Um, that is bad for you, and it stimulates your brain. So he says to turn them off for an hour before you go to bed. Okay, I think I can do that. It may be hard because I've been doing this for many years. My mind goes a million miles a minute, and if I lay down, I think of everything I need to do, probably everything I've done wrong all my life. I mean, I think of everything. What if this happens? What if that happens? I need to do this. I need to do that. Well, I mean, it's crazy. And I'm not the only one. I know there's many of us out there. And years ago, I started playing solitaire on my iPad before I went to bed. Went to sleep. Not went to bed, but went to sleep. So I've been doing that for many years, and that may be hard thing to do. So I may wait and stay up a little bit later till I think I'm really going to fall asleep and then get up and go to bed. I don't know. We shall see. Um, Another thing is to stay. Okay, they didn't say stay. He said to eat good nutrition. Well, in our case, that would be carnivore. Stay carnivore. No junk, just carnivore. I think that would be very important, which we should not be having a problem with that at this time if you are eating carnivore. Number 4, don't overhydrate. He says, and I knew I'd heard this before. He says, don't drink too much water. If you are urinating all the time, you're drinking too much water. If you are, if your urine is if it's just completely clear, then you're getting too much water. Now, if it's dark, you definitely need more water. Your body will tell you where the fine line is. So listen to yourself. He said, drink to thirst, only to thirst. Don't force it. If you don't make yourself drink a gallon, 2 gallons of water, just drink what your body tells you it needs. And your body will tell you. Isn't it amazing that our bodies tell us so much if we would just pay attention? And this one was interesting, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned it to you before because I've heard him say this before. If you have lower back pain, walk backwards. Simple as that. It's not going to fix all back pain, but like Bella, she said she sits a lot. She sits a lot at her computer and is working on her computer a lot. That sounds like me at my sewing in my sewing machine, and then at my computer doing these videos. Um, so she says she walks backwards daily, and it has really helped her back pain, lower back pain. So they said, just try it. Just try it and you'll be surprised. It's not going to fix everything, but for some people, it really will make a big difference. And he says, he explains it more, but he says the main thing is just know it works. And the other thing is to hang from a bar above your head with your feet dangling. Start with a few seconds, like 30 seconds or so, and build up from there. But that it is very, very good for your back. It's good for your shoulders. It is good for your core. And just to do that and just know that it will make a difference. So those are the 5 little hacks that they had for a healthier body. And let's give them a try to see what happens. I do not have a bar to hang from. I don't know if there's one at this time that would hold me, to be honest. Well, there might be, but still. One thing I do is you see let me use this other hand. See the door frame up here? I will put my fingers over the very top, and now I have to really stretch because I'm not that tall. I'm about 5'5", and I have to really stretch to get my fingers up over the edge of that door frame. Now that's not dangling my feet, but it really hurts me at first because that's what hurts the most is straightening my back. So it hurts at first, but then it just feels so good, and I can stand up straighter afterwards. But I'm usually either on my tiptoes. Sometimes I'll do flat-footed if I can without hurting too bad, but it helps me a lot too. So you might try those things. Okay, the other video I watched was the 5-minute body with Rena, and she was talking to Coach Bronson Dan. I think that's his name, Bronson Dan. And these are some things about why you could be stuck on the carnivore lifestyle. Okay, number 1, he says, don't be stuck on the scale. Don't be stuck with what the number on the scale. So he says, It's more of a mindset. Um, don't think of it as a weight loss, as think of it as a health journey. And we have discussed that before, that a lot of us, such as myself, I do it for the health and for the weight loss. There are people that just do it for health. There are people that just do it for weight. And I believe if you will do it for the health, the weight will come. It may not come immediately. It may take you a little longer, like it has me. I know I'm doing something wrong. I'm going to figure it out one way or another. I like the way this makes me feel, so I'm going to stick with it. But I've got to figure out why I'm not losing weight. I lost a little, but not much. I think it's 15 pounds or something like that. And I will be honest, I look at the scale a lot. So I'm going to have my husband put it away somewhere and not tell me where it's at, because I would go get it. And I'm going to have him uh, get it back out after a month. Now, this is when I come back from my surgery and I'm feeling back to normal. And then I will start the bacon, butter, beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. That's what I'm going to do when I come back after the surgery. And so I'm going to have him hide the scale from me because I will be bad. Okay, the number 2 thing, once again, is a mindset. Okay, and this is interesting. This is really interesting to me, the way he put it. Okay, how do I explain it like he did, except in my own words? He says, if you're trying to find things to replace what you've taken out of your diet, such as you want a dessert every day. So you had, you can't have cheesecake, but maybe you can have a keto cheesecake. So all you're trying, you love that cheesecake over here, so you're going to make the same thing on the carnivore, but make it carnivore friendly. You're still trying to get the same thing out of this diet. It's a mindset. I'm going to read what he says, and then I'll go back over in my words, okay? Because I don't know that I'm making sense out of it, okay? He says, if you're trying to replace the bad food with carnivore food, you're not fixing the issues or the relationship you have with food. The reason you're getting away from those things. Processed, crappy carnivore food is just as bad as standard crappy food. If you're making a carnivore dessert every night, you're not moving forward in your journey. Trying to make something that's not healthy is not helping you let go of the bad habits that made you unhealthy to start with. Your health is directly connected to your mindset you have about eating. It's interesting to me. If you're stuck in your journey, there's something you're doing that's keeping you stuck. And that's kind of goes back to what I said about myself. I'm doing something wrong. I've got to figure this out. And the only question you should be asking is this choice going to help me move forward to reach my goal in my health journey? Whether it's for your health or for your weight, for weight loss, you need to ask yourself that question before you eat it or make it. Is this really going to move me forward? And not just that, in my mindset. And the question isn't, am I allowed to have this? But the question should be, does this work for me? So that's the way I'm looking at it. Is I've never really thought of it in that kind of a mindset change. I've thought, yes, I need to change from diet to lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But if I'm trying to find recipes or something to make something taste like something did before that's not carnivore, then I'm still thinking, I'm still in that old mindset that I need a dessert or I need this or I need that, when I need to think I just need the nutrition. And someone had said, something I listened to, just it might have been Steak and Butter Gal. I don't remember. It might have been Rena. I'm not sure. But they said that if you're having cravings, that's just your body telling you you are hungry. You don't need sweets. If you're having a craving for something sweet, it's just telling you you're hungry. And so we need to get more in that mindset. At least I do. And to me, this is kind of eye-opening. If I'm wanting to really change and this be a lifestyle change, then I feel like I do need to get away from that mindset of finding something to taste like something else. That makes a lot of sense. Just enjoy the food that you're getting. And kind of like, uh, well, I'll say it here in a minute. Number 3, if you're not moving, physically moving, okay, let me just put it in his words. If you're not moving your body, telling your body that it needs to utilize the nutrition, then you're going to be stuck. I don't do a lot of movement. I walk, from place to place in my house or to my car or to, if I go to the store and do something, but I don't physically do a lot of activity. I had started a stretching regimen, but I didn't get very far with it before. I just got busy and I forgot to do it, and I need to get back to that. Okay. If you're not building muscle, then you're not able to manage the fuel that you are taking in. And what he's going to tell us in just a few minutes is how a lot of this works. And I've probably heard it before, I knew it before, but to hear it again, I needed to hear it again. And I think it's going to make a difference for me. I don't know about you, but I needed to hear this. He says, we want to be fat adapted. The body burns fat, but it also is a catalyst to accessing nutrition. The fat is a catalyst to access the nutrition that's in the protein. So fat by itself doesn't really have a lot of nutrients. It's energy, but protein from meat has a ton of nutrients in it. A lot of those nutrients need fat for your body to be able to absorb it. So the fat doesn't have a lot of nutrients, but it helps utilize the nutrients out of the meat, out of the protein. And then your body knows what to do with it. It helps metabolize everything. And so if you have a 50 to 50 ratio of fat, then you're going to get a good balance of fat versus nutrients to absorb the nutrients, and your body will metabolize all that, and you will be burning the fat and not muscle, and you will be building muscle. So that's very interesting. But you've got to move also, because if you don't move and your body is processing all these nutrients and they don't know what to, your body doesn't know what to do with it. So it's just going to store that fat. That makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, the other thing was high fat. Yes, we want a high fat keto diet, but it doesn't mean we want too much fat. So you need to know what ratio of fat is good for you. And they suggest 50-50. Some people go 80-20. And I'm not talking about the meat, the hamburger meat being 80-20. That's not what I'm talking about. But how much fat to protein ratio you get is important. Excuse me. So I talked to you yesterday about that. About I don't, and I'm not sure today who it was said it. I know Kim Berry has always said this. You eat till you're full and then push it a little bit more. And when you know you've had enough, if you have enough fat on it or butter or whatever, and you start eating and oh, it tastes good, especially if you're on a 23-hour fast like I do. By the time you eat, you're really hungry. And when you start eating, oh, it tastes so good. But your body will tell you when you're done. Your body will tell you, oh, I'm getting kind of full. I don't really want this anymore. And then you're like, oh, I'm done. But you think, oh, I got to keep eating because all of this. No, you don't have to keep eating. If your body is telling you, I'm done, listen to your body. There's such, it can be complicated when you think, oh, but they say you can eat too little. Now she's saying you can eat too much. No, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying listen to your body. I know they say sometimes one of the problems with not losing weight is you're not eating enough. Well, that's because you're portion controlling. You're not going by what your body's saying. You're going by, oh, I can't eat anything bigger than my fist. A piece of meat bigger than my fist. I can't eat more than so many calories. That is portion control and calorie counting. Then you're not going to get enough. On the other hand, I say eat till you're comfortably full and then push it a little bit more. So you're comfortably full, but you keep eating because you hear somebody says you're supposed to eat 2 pounds of meat in a day. Well, that may not be right for you. You hear steak and butter gal say eat a stick, well, maybe it wasn't her, somebody eat a stick of butter a day. Well, what if that's not right for you? We're all different. So listen to your body. Eat till you're comfortably full. Make sure you've got plenty of butter or fat, however you want to do it. But when your body starts saying, hey, I've had enough, you've had enough. Don't push it, just like with the water. Drink when you're thirsty. If you think you're supposed to drink a gallon or 2 gallons of water a day and it's taking everything you've got to do it, don't do it. Drink when you're thirsty. Eat when you're hungry. Don't push it. Don't limit yourself to just a small amount either. Your body will tell you what you need. So I think this is really important stuff to know. And the more we think about it, I told you I had not been watching videos and stuff. And boy, am I glad I'm starting to watch them again, because it does come to more in my, it sticks in my head more. And unfortunately, I'm kind of slow sometimes, and you have to tell me 100 times before it's going to catch. And then it may not. I may still forget the next day. But I love listening to these videos and learning from them. And yes, sometimes it's repetitive, but I need the repetitive. And if it's too repetitive, I'll just watch a different one. It's okay. There's so many out there, so many different people to listen to. And it's funny that you hear things, like there are some people that think honey is good, and then the other people think honey is not good. So evidently, it is just whatever your body can or cannot handle. And I think that is so important. We're wanting to take control of our own health. Well, wouldn't you think that taking control of your own health is listening to what your body has to say? Whether this person thinks it's okay to have it or this person thinks it's okay to not have it, then only you know for sure. And that's kind of what an elimination diet is anyway. You're finding out what your body can or cannot take. And, I feel really kind of stupid, to be honest. 83 days, and I'm thinking, I need to cut down on my cheese. I've probably thought it before, but just didn't do it because I like cheese so much. So that's where I stand today. These are the things I'm going to be trying to work on. And let me know if you've tried these, if they help you, if they don't help you, if you know some other little tips and tricks that can help. We can all use the help. Let's become a community that does help each other. Thank you guys for watching and putting up with me day after day, or every other day, or every week or so. However often I make them. Like I said, I have no idea. I'm going to say I probably won't post tomorrow since I will be having surgery tomorrow. Um, it may be a few days. I don't know. Be on the lookout for it though, and we will get back to you. I will be posting a few things in the next week or so on our regular channel for reactions. We recorded a few so that we would have something to put out every week for a while, since we are not getting together often enough for it to be daily. We're going to at least go for once a week for a while, maybe a couple of times. I'm not sure if it's going to be a couple of times. I don't know how many we recorded to be able to do it to post a couple of times a week. I just don't think we have that many. So anyway, be on the lookout for things to come. And thanks again. We will see you next time. Bye bye.